fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and I resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste my must have manti statue. Say me like a catch you, but we got in a figure you. Take this print of money, gal and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up in my gut up. Too much eating at the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and I resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say dig up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, the rapper, they down in our fever. Member bold honey and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the sun man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome to Global Television. We are still in the West Midlands. Somehow, though, today we will try to drag ourselves to the other side of the country. It is also a bank holiday. It is a public holiday in England and Wales, and no fast train is running today, so I'm going to have to take the depressing ride and a slow train. I hope you all can hear me. Good morning to everyone, and welcome. Let me just make sure there's no feedback. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning to my community of Parity and all my family members. Good morning to the people of the West Midlands. Good morning to my platform membership holders and moderators, viewers and subscribers. Good morning and welcome. I hope you had a restful time. Prof. Gorgeous Lady, I really do apologize because of my breakaway from London and not being focusing. I was going to have that chat with my friend yesterday, but unfortunately did not get to do so. Good morning all, and welcome. This morning we're going to mind people business. We're going to talk about Buju visa. We're not going to talk from facts or first-hand information. We're going to hypothesize how Buju got back to the United States. I also want to ask the Integrity Commission, corruption prosecutor, some question. I want to also ask Nigel Clark some question. And we're going to also ask Juliet Holness, have you no shame? Literally, Juliet Holness, have you no shame? Is the question that we'll be asking. So we'll be allegedly in this morning with the Buju conversation. But it is a conversation that a lot of people are having in the social spheres between their friends, family, companion. It is a conversation a lot of us are having, given how immigration situations are and offenses after deportation. So it is quite shocking for a lot of people. But this morning we will go and what if. Good morning. Good morning. Let me do my usual. We will go on a what if, or could it be that, this morning with regards to Buju Banton being back in the United States. Debbie Jervis, good morning and welcome. Good morning to Sunshine. Natalia Freeman, good morning. Good morning, Patricia Matthews. Annie Jones, good morning and welcome. Good morning to Elaine Turner. Good morning, Real Sweet, good morning. Good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning and welcome. Kamar Johnson, Janet Riley, Nifty Friend, good morning. Denise Johnson, Dion Johnson, rather, sorry. Good morning. Paula Shelley, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Hugh Robotham, good morning. Good morning and welcome, Real Black Woman. Good morning, Yvonne Johnson, Miranda Roddock, Janet Harriet. Good morning. Cousin Myrna, Wagwan. Rose, good morning. Good morning. How the road fixing a going in the community, Cousin Myrna? The light flight green, me know saying they do like a fixing down a liquor bridge. Any fixing do round our side of the district? OPPS official, how are you? Prof. Gorgeous Lady. Good morning and welcome. Me see then they do some work round a liquor bridge. Hubert Tizzle and Tash. Yvonne Johnson, Sharon Powell. Them do no work down our side, cuz. JP, good morning. Good morning. Abinasa Cody, good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. What if, could it be that? We know at times when people are deported from whether it be the United States or England or so on, and especially if it's just up a little bridge, and especially if it's a criminal offense to do with drugs, gun, fraud, after serving your time and is deported, it's almost like a next to never, if possible at all, getting back into such country. It is not at all impossible, but there are a lot of ways, but long, winding, expensive route with good reasons in law. The other night I asked, could it be that Buju Banton was given a compassionate visa given the circumstances of his bereavement, or was there a tap on the shoulder from anywhere else or anyone else? Anisimit. I want to say this though, before I do the what if. My intelligence suggests that the private jet that people are saying is DJ Khaled's private jet. My intelligence suggests that that private jet is Buju Banton's private jet and not DJ Khaled's. But with regards to Buju getting back into the United States, what if Buju Banton is no longer a Jamaican citizen? What if Buju Banton is a free man? What if Buju Banton has his indigenous status? What if Buju Banton has maroon indigenous status? What if? Could it be that, though, Buju Banton has indigenous maroon status, and therefore, by extension, Buju Banton is a freeman and not is shackled to the colonial bureaucracies that he would be subjected to as Buju Banton Myrie, the Jamaican document holder? Could it be that Buju Banton is now an indigenous free man and thereby would lift those restrictions? Could it be that? If it is that Buju Banton has his indigenous status and is a freeman, then that for me would put some of the questions to bed as how he got back into the United States, whether it be on an entertainment visa, a visa because of bereavement. So it's just that, could it be that because the indigenous status, Joan Brown, would make an awful lot of difference in the immigration area. So those are my could it be that with regards to Buju Banton being back in the United States. Could it be that Buju Banton is a freeman? Could it be that Buju Banton has his indigenous status from the Maroon community? Marcia Este, could it be that? And if that is a possibility, then that would explain his re-entry to the United States. But one thing I can say, though, to him, congratulations and his redemption of his self and his status and visa, Gloria Morris. But I want to ask, governmental attorney in a wrangles over how motorists should collect the $2 billion of illegally imposed fines. Motorists who for over 15 years, paid traffic tickets fines that were illegally imposed should be required to show proof in order to collect. This is the debacle between the lawyers and the courts with regards to them collecting their fees. So the government, the court want them to show proof in order to get refund, which I think is very, very unfair, Maya Brown, because even a lot of these tickets they're issuing now, them barely can save a few days before they're phased out. So to ask people to produce documents of 15 years ago, Agency Driver 5, well gone. To be asking people to produce documents of 5 years ago, Wayne Evans, Monica Wills, is very unfair of the government. Is it not on books? Are they state issue the tickets? Do they not have those on books? Do they have an archive system? Because if they, Janet Riley, is asking the public, the motorists, to produce 15 years documents back, then the state should also have a copy of those 15 years worth of document because they were issued by the state, Yvonne Green. So this is all about playing a game with motorists because they want to see how much them can scave off of the $2 billion. They want to see how much them can scave off of that by denying them the right of the refund if they cannot produce ticket 15 years back. Given that, Nifty friend, these were illegally issued. These were illegally imposed on motorists by the state. So if the state expects the motorists to have a copy, then the state should also have a copy. I think that's only fair, given that it was an illegal, it was being illegally imposed from the onset. Then the government ought to have had their record. So therefore, I think this is just another scam from the government to get out of the crookedness that they have done to motorists. Morning, Yvonne Green. Can you hold them and you rob them for 15 years? And then you are going to tell them, sir, in order to get back their refund, they must be able to prove to you that they got a ticket. Why you don't go back to your records of 15 years? Your court's office who collected these money should also have a record of 15 years. Your police who issued these tickets should also hold that 15 years record that you're asking motorists to produce. So this is just another scam from the government to get out of the already scam where them scam motorists $2 billion over that period. But the Nigel Clark come with another blunder. Remember the other day, this, I think I might have this still in queue. Let me check. Right. Remember the other day, this blunder came out. I was the one with McLean there. I think that may be recovered. But, no, here it is. When this information came out with the other day, the question a lot of us were asking, why is it that these people who are being found to be in breach is still being paid by the department, and we cannot be told whether there is a ongoing disciplinary process, or for that matter, when these people will return to work. So with regards to this 81 million and counting that Nigel Clark is responding to, we're over the past, we've paid 7 public official tantamount. These 3 here, Novelette Denton Prince, Sonia Engleton, Oniki Dixon. From February last year to March of this year, we pay those 3 people $12 million each. These people are either on suspension or sent on leave for some violations. Then we have Grace McLean. From 2021 to 2024, we've paid her $16 million on suspension or sent on leave for stealing $124 million from the Nutra Fund. Jaja Simit, Tony Tall, Sandra Richards, Samuel, how are you? After stealing $124 million, she's sent on leave and is still being paid in millions from taxpayers' money. Mark Barnett, who's found to be in breach even though time has passed. Over the last 6 months, we pay Mark Barnett $13 million. Sean Reed, over a 3-year period, 6.1 million. Sean Martin, rather, over a 3-year period, 6.1 million. Calvert Sutherland, over a 3-year period, 10 million. This is Nigel's response. No, not that booba fool. Here's Nigel's response. Public service regulations are being reviewed with consideration for modern human resources demand or a time limit on investigation of public officials suspended from work, the government says. The disclosure from Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, follows last week's revelation of the Sunday's Gleaner 81 million in pre-tax basic salary have been paid to 7 suspended public officials whose case grabbed national attention over the last 29 months, when accounting for benefits and their temporary replacement, the cost soars, shedding light on the financial and administrative repercussions of prolonged suspension. That is Nigel Clark's answer. Rather than give us an update or request the department to give the public an update as to whether there are ongoing disciplinary proceedings or is there a time when they will be returned to work? Or what clause are in their contract why, given the breaches, especially with Mark Barnett and but the frightened post one name, but the frightened post woman name, the one with thief the new chief on, I don't know who may attack. Rosalie Ricketts. Those are two people who are found to be in breach, but yet still we're paying them to stay at home, and we cannot be given any update for how long Water Commission Board told us that we will soon hear Joan Jackson. Something from the Mark Barnett case, and we're still waiting. We are still waiting, and this, Sylvia Wagwan, this is the answer that Nigel Clark has. We're going to do a public service regulation review to modernize human resources. I mean, if you're all telling us about how good the economy is doing at the macro level, why is it that on human resources is so shabby up there? Why on administrative galangin so shabby up there? So how come on get it right then? Al-Kabelan, Brown Man Security. How come on get it right? If on human resources on an administrative team don't fit for purpose, how come on have the best economic turnaround across the Caribbean in COVID if on human resources, Lauren Barrett, if on human resources on an administrative team so shabby and shoddy and all over the place, Lord Emery? A lot of these different information you're all giving us in public don't add up and they don't make sense. Because same way not tell we how the economy is doing good, how more people are in work than ever, but still we have a revenue shortfall if the economy is doing so good. We have recovered so well, Manika Horta. We have recovered so well, but there is a revenue shortfall. And then Nigel Clark go on to tell us that we have misplaced concerns as to do with the revenue shortfall. Then it would be the duty of Dr. Clark to put those misplaced concerns in the proper context. Because you can't just come tell us our concerns are misplaced, but isn't telling us, though, what our concerns should really be, the areas that we really should be concerned about. If our concerns are misplaced, then I would expect Dr. Clark to be able to point us, our concerns, in the right direction. Charmin Ranger. But you can never get a straight answer out of Dr. Clark for nothing because of some stitch up with budget and him run off and you just not hear nothing. As same way, from the Integrity Commission release those two reports and them dilly-dally and have them tabled. Nigel Clark is to answer to us with regards to the contractual relationship with Norman Dunn and others, and update us as to what point we're going to stop paying for those empty buildings and pay for them as fully operational building for which they should have been for months now or for years now. Rena, Althea. So Nigel Clark always come around with some question that doesn't meet our concerns. This doesn't answer our question by by asking you to update us on whether there is a disciplinary proceedings going on with these 7 people who were paying, some of them for 3 years now. We want to also know why these people cannot be relieved of their contract given their breaches, especially Mark Barnett and Grace McLean. So it's all a game playing. Never to answer our question directly, never to respond directly to the concern of the public. It's always another wild goose chase. This $1.7 trillion that these 3 departments cannot be accountable for, relaxing melodies. Nigel Clark has a duty to answer to us for that. Nigel Clark is the country's purse holder. So when these people over the 10-8 years period have not reported to the Ministry of Finance, which 8 years of that is under the Labour government, Nigel Clark has a responsibility for your money. There's a whole lot that Nigel Clark keep dodging from answering to us. As much as I don't see him jump around and I kind of go on like him bright, there's a lot that Nigel Clark has refused to answer to and respond to. It was same thing with the SSL scandal where he got those reports with regard to SSL and other financial institutions where problems were forecast. And Nigel Clark denied he didn't have that report until the FSC said the report was sent. Nigel Clark managed to dig up and find the report. So Nigel Clark have had many repeated offenses. Many repeated offenses. He is no better than the others. It is the reason why you see Nigel Clark is so protective of Juliet Holness. Because Juliet Holness sitting in the Speaker's chair will block questions that the People's National Party want to put to Nigel Clark with regards to all of these things. For a question to get asked on the floor, it must get past Juliet Holness first. She must authorize that question as part of the business of the day. Otherwise, that question from the leader of the opposition or from a member of the opposition will not get asked. That is how much she can censor question to do with her husband, Nigel Clark, or other members of the party. She has that power to censor questions. This is what makes her role even more dangerous. But me not think so nobody I see the danger. Should be ashamed. Nigel Clark should be ashamed of his forgot self-15 mistake in one budget. Exactly. Just 15 mistakes in a one budget alone. Nigel Clark has so much questions to answer to the public, and what Nigel Clark just does is just give some scathing sideways statement like how you walk sideways with your ring when you stand up behind. But I think the country needs to focus a lot more on what Nigel is doing and Nigel's behavior, because Nigel is the one who's responsible for your budget. In the Westminster model of politics, Nigel Clark would be the chief in line after the blind one there. Blind Aga name, the gunman, Dr. Cham. In the Westminster model of politics, if you have a vice president and the prime minister get knocked out, then is the deputy prime minister rather. Or if not, if there isn't a deputy prime minister, then the chancellor, that which holds the purse, is next in line to take over the reins of the party. Boy, favor I'll do it with that even was Sarah Anthony Savage, because and say, remember favor is at basic school reading level. So if favor have anything to do with the budget, God help that budget with favor basic school reading ability, Colin Humphreys. But the people need to focus a lot on Nigel. Focus on Nigel. He's doing a lot that is passing. He's doing a lot that is passing people's eyes. Nigel is one of the major criminals in the Labour Party regime. People praise him because of his excellency, his economy, his financial excellency in the private sector, and his Rhodes Scholarly awards. He hasn't proven himself as Minister of Finance for Jamaica, because even the macroeconomics, getting it right at the national level, where them are both span, they cannot prove it on paper, nor can that be transformed or transferred rather to the microeconomic, the local level. So everything for Nigel is just a bag of sideways talk, argument. Nigel, I'm glad that the war between me and the Babylon them over, because I have some recordings of you that could really put you to the test and show you up for who you really are. You should have glad say the war between me and the Babylon them over. See, Sylvia said favor at Jamal school galang in. Jamal level reading favor Williams. I'm sure if favor did that Jamal class, Nesta was our bench mate. You know the bench them we all two chair we was sit down upon, yeah. Nesta and favor, they pan bench together. You can see who looking at who for book. But I want to ask the criminal organization. Now I can ask that Dr. Jugs deal upon Westmoreland Beach at night. Christopherton. Minister of Health, Dr. Police in Westmoreland Beach, finding drug dealers Palm Beach at night. You and your businessman friend, Christoph Dan, Mavis Forbes. We are going to keep our eyes on the hospital, the health clinic here. Sandy Bay. We're closed today for refurbishment because a long time you close one, Georgia Dennis. In a St. Elizabeth, when I come to Pinker Farm yet, and I saw no go around the country, shut down and so now fix, shut down and fix. Until we not get nowhere with it. Yesterday, I say I don't have it in queue, but somewhere in Chilani, Mr. Politician, I turn on pipe, and I say first ever, this community have had running water. Cable and Janet McIntosh. Let me say to the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, anyone in this modern day want to celebrate, say, after 60 years of independence, the first one I bring water to a community in Jamaica. Failed politicians, JLP and PNP alike. Both of you all should be shamed of yourself. 60 years of failure from both political sides. 60 odd years of failure. I don't want people to celebrate. Oh, we bring running water to your community for the first time. Shame on you. That's the failure. Shame on you. In the superpower for the Caribbean? Is it the economic superpower for the Caribbean? They call it. Shame on you. Like something where we could jump and rejoice, but it's something to be ashamed of. Where is the tool? Yes. Me and the Integrity Commission. I want to ask the corruption prosecutor to explain to the Jamaican people how the rule of law works. And in explaining so, Madam, explain to the people, Norman Ferguson, if the same laws that Dwayne Vaz is subjected to, if Andrew Holness is subjected to those laws, and if he is, why is it that the Prime Minister is 3-4 years late and on his declaration, and yet we cannot have a ruling from the Integrity Commission, not about illicit here, with regards, James, to the Prime Minister's statutory declaration? Does the rule that apply to Dwayne Vaz apply to Andrew Holness? And if it is, why is the Prime Minister been given so many turned a blind eye, look aside, act as if it isn't happening, act as if we do not hear anyone talking? Why is it that the Prime Minister is not subjected to the same law that Dwayne Vaz is subjected to? If Dwayne Vaz is late on declaring a particular document for his XYZ to be certified, why has the Prime Minister given so much grace and favor? Boise Howell, how are you? If the ECJ office, I will talk about that as well, Brittany Lee. If the same rule apply to both politicians? Why is it then that a case that could have been settled and out in public from 2021 is being thrown up in public now, when the Prime Minister is late, has been late since about 2018, 2019 on his statutory declarations? So is the corruption prosecutor working with the Jamaica Labour Party just as Paula Llewellyn's office? No, Anthony, seriously, that question ought to be answered. Does the same rules that apply to doing VARs apply to Andrew Holness? And if they do, why Andrew Holness is not referred to for prosecution for being unable 3 years running to have his statutory declaration certified? Because this is the very similar thing Dwayne Vaz is going through. Slate submission, did not submit on time. And by extension, a fine was levied on him because he did not submit on time. He did not also pay that fine when it should have been paid, and therefore leads to the ongoing prosecution or the guilty plea that he made the other day. Why is Andrew Holness not subjected to the same thing with regards to his declarations, Integrity Commission? That question needs to be answered, because then you would be being political here. You would be political here if you're applying the rules to Mr. Vaz, but not applying the same rules to Mr. Holness, who is even found more wanting. Mr. Vaz was for 1 year. Mr. Holness is 3 years now. And we're yet to have a ruling with regards to that. So one could fairly argue that the Integrity Commission is playing politics, or a labor right people them entrenched in order to carry out the shenanigans that we see Paula carry out in the office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Holness could have been prosecuted for 1 year. He is 3 years late. He could have been prosecuted for 1 year for being late on 1 year's declaration. The Prime Minister is 3 years late. And the Integrity Commission, just like how Delroy Chuck is calling on the Integrity Commission to give clarity to the illicit six matter, we want clarity with regards to the Prime Minister's declaration. The nation requires that. Him wouldn't get away with it in the Westminster system, in the Westminster system. So if we're going to apply the rule of law, and we're going to talk about the rule of law, and the rule of law only apply to curry favor people, then we shouldn't talk about these things. Because we fool people when we talk about the rule of law. If the rule of law applies to Dwayne Vaz and it doesn't apply to Andrew Holness, then we really shouldn't talk about it. Because you have to be in a certain criteria. To receive the grace and favor of the rule of law in the way it is being applied in these two particular cases. Jamaican people continue to question your public officials and your public office holders. The whole of them are crooks and criminals. The whole of them are protect each other's crime. Why is the Prime Minister being protected, one should ask? But somebody asked me to talk about the mumble jumble of the two public bodies. There are many things that one can observe to see that the Holness regime is a dictatorship. When you see Lyrus Beckford, a government that is on a micromanagement agenda, it's a government that trusts no one around him or them. A government who wants total control. Thereby, such a government would align itself with lackeys to either one, go along with everything or sit in silence and allow everything to happen. Jackie Graham. Thereby, you see the Holness administration micromanages the most departments and agencies or organizations of government. You can look at the office of the Prime Minister, Noreen Robinson. You can just look at the office of the Prime Minister and see the amount of department and agencies that has been run from the office of the Prime Minister. That is a clear sign of dictatorship, the taking over of the reins of power. But two of the organizations of government that stands out here and is of contention is the Electoral Commission of Jamaica and the office of the political ombudsman, or sometimes we will say the office of the public ombudsman, which these two offices have two different functions, as well as these two offices are offices that ought to be independent of government. However, the Prime Minister took the Electoral Commission of Jamaica into the office of the Prime Minister. The reason why we have this jumble the other day, during the 2020 general election, Michelle Charles, the criminal daughter of the criminal land thief, Pernell Charles, committed corruption violations during that election campaign. The office of the political ombudsman, which the office holder then was Donna Parchment Brown, carried out an investigation and imposed a disciplinary on Michelle Charles in March of 2021. The office tenure for Ms. Parchment Brown came to an end the 16th of November 2022. The Prime Minister then refused to reappoint the office. And the Public Service Commission must take some responsibility here too. The Prime Minister refused to appoint the office. The office was just there, vacant. But what the Prime Minister did, coming up to the to the local government election, the Prime Minister took a legislation to Parliament, submerging the office of the political ombudsman and the Electoral Commission of Jamaica together in order to take the office of the political ombudsman into the Prime Minister's office. This is another violation of your constitutional processes, where your Prime Minister now has submerged two bodies together doing two different things. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica is to regulate and administrate our election process and deal with electoral complaints. The office of the political ombudsman is to investigate our politicians and all public officials and public office holders for violations or for failure to provide us with services that they are under a duty to provide us. So those are two complete different roles. And what the Prime Minister has done is lumping those two agencies together. And now we, the people, are concerned as to if we have a complaint to make to the political ombudsman against any of our public officials or public office holder or public organizations, how do we go about it? We are not quite clear because there is no policy paper or guideline attached with the Prime Minister sticking his finger up to the Constitution and amending it in order to have things his way. Given Mark Golden's response a few weeks ago, given the result, the ruling in the parlor situation, this might be one of the issues that the Mark Golden team has before the court as well, because they have other constitutional issues pending also, as well as they would have signaled that the Curtis Speaker issue is an issue they're planning to take to the court also. So I hope Mark Golden would be able to update the public, particularly on the submerging of those two offices, and if they have a case before the court at the moment, and if not, why not? But I do believe, though, that Mark Golden and his team would be taking this issue before the court, Lilith Lockerbie. But that is where that stands at the moment. The people, though, the people have a responsibility to pressure their MPs and tell their MPs, unless the office of those two offices are separated, you will not have our vote come next general election. You can literally put pressure on your JLP MP by doing so. Notice if you see Andrew Holness on a platform in Western Kingston, Tivoli Garden, into that. No, Andrew fall out of grace. And when Andrew go Western Kingston, Andrew go out of Pelly Blacks. And out there so out of Pelly Blacks Plaza, out of Olympic Way. Now out there so Andrew have him gangster congregation. Him gunman congregation. Because Andrew not do anything for even him MP them will sit down and back up him criminality. Never mind for Western Kingston. Andrew give two hoots about Western Kingston. Ian, how are you? Which government you see? Sit down and itemize what poor people go corner shop go buy. It tell you the mindset of that government. That's if him a talk about poor people, him can come itemize what we got corner shop go buy. Coach Noreen, how are you? But Jamaica people, keep your eye on the ball. what you have is a dictator and a rogue running your country. And the promise, what them a promise, so them ready figure Haiti, done it, good morning. So them ready figure Haiti, one of my case and go on. We want to forget the experience to come fix with broken Grange Hill, Moby, and all of them something. The hurry up and go on. Don't want we so ready to go fix Haiti. We just want to go fix it and show we so see there, we fix it. But my people, thank you very much for being back here this morning. I will go and start drawing myself across the other side of the country. I need to go and look after my plant them. So I'm going to drag myself back to London today. And it's going to be painstaking because today is just the slow trains. But me have a Grand Tambi area, so life go. Danette Warner, how are you? May I go back to London today? Colleen Richards. But thank you all for being here. Join me back tonight. Hopefully we're not too tired when we get home. Join me back tonight for the people's point of view. Even if we come on late, we are going to come on. So join me back for the people's point of view tonight. Obviously, Drive Time London won't be because I'm traveling back home today. So I will definitely see you all later. But one of them continue to keep the pressure up on the government. And today is the 6th. Don't forget that, is it which day of the week? Look on the calendar. But it's the 10th. The Florida. So it's Friday the 10th is the New York protest for the Diaspora Crime and Intervention Team. But we will keep reminding you day by day about that. So thank you all very much. And we definitely will see you back here tonight, back in our London studios.
Can't say we never did a warn you. No more golden, him come here to teach you. Alright then. No trouble, take your ladder, God, beat the shut it, I go fit you. Hey, bro, God. No trouble, take your ladder, God, beat the shut it, I go fit you. Alright then. Jamaica love how my golden is working. It's working. Step out in the street, morning and evening. I say a little of this and a little of that. Listen him voice to the streets of backs. Enough labor right, them don't love God. A full speed ahead and him not cut that. Temper, Lord God, labor right in a temper. Alright then, fever, Lord God, bro, God gets fever. Oh, we, I'm but about the black tank and get suspension. Can't believe I remove half of the station. This is frustration. Brother come and say buy him tongue. Come and show receipt in a hand. Him say him buy 10 tongue, but when we look for receipt never stamp. No trouble, take your ladder, God, bring the shut it, I go fit you. Alright then. No trouble, take your ladder, God, bring the shut it, I go fit you. Whoa, we. The people them say, bro, God, lock off the water. The water. And I talk about water short in our area. Well, this is Jamaica with the land of food and water. The water. Tell we all water for short in a Jamaica. Them two lion teeth and we catch them at weed. Lock them up, mark, that's where the key. Tired the sufferation, we want to free. Hey, Jamaica vote PNP. No trouble, take your ladder, God, with the shot it, I go fit you. Alright then. No trouble, take your ladder, God, with the shot it, I go fit you. Alright then. Can't say we never warn you. Oh, Jamaican people. Hey, Jamaican people. No trouble, take your lad of God business, so did I go fit you. Alright then.
Thank you all very much. We'll see you.